Who's the daddy? Easy guys, Dom here from Cringy Dad Gaming. So recently I had a chance to interview the developer of Island, which is a roleplay and strategy game which is inspired from two classical books, Robinson Crusoe and Mysterious Island, and this game offers you the closest possible exploration of the original scenario, which is based on the long-term harsh experience of a lone individual surviving on a desert island. Due to the location of the developer, I was unable to do a face-to-face interview. However, we did conduct an interview over email. So in this video, I will just be showing you through some screenshots and early concept art of the game while I read through the questions and answers from the developer. Please start by introducing yourself and tell me a little about your role and background. I'm Nicholas, main developer for Island. I used to offer a desert island adventure scenario in tabletop form a while ago, usually in the GM role. Role players were so enthusiastic that I kept it on the side, waiting for the perfect opportunity. I'm now taking a step back from my career to make my dream come true, building a truly immersive game and simply offering gamers a good moment. Could you tell us more about the main narrative of your game, Island? Island is about a castaway stranded on a Pacific island in the 18th century. Alone, terrified, and not having particular skills at surviving alone in a hostile environment, our character will have to make the best of this situation. Island is a strategy survival based game. What makes it different from any other survival game currently on the market? Being alone, in the dark, in a hostile jungle where most inhabitants think of you as food, all while being frail and injured, can be an incredibly terrifying experience. We are building Island around a set of realistic rules extracted from real survival situations. Here's the one we considered the most important. While the body is usually unexpectedly resilient, people in this type of situation, known for having been exposed to repeated fear and pain, describe their minds as the most fragile part of their system, as well as the strongest liability. In Island, you don't just care for hunger and thirst, you must care for realistic factors like the character's mental state, as well as the cold and condition of your feet, as hurting your feet can lead to you getting slowed down. A low mental condition can lead to temporary madness and loss of control of your character. Will the game have any combat elements? First, you must know that in the game Island, you are supposed to eat a well-balanced diet, or you risk deficiencies if you only eat one food group long term. Eating fruits, plants, or scavenging mouldy biscuits from a crate stranded on a beach can only work in the short term. There are more than one way to get sufficient proteins. You may, for example, fish, harvest clams, catch little animals using traps, and of course hunt. Hunting is our equivalent of a battle system based on stealth and surprise attacks. Depending on your gaming style, hunting may be completely optional. The hunting process is risky for the character, but allows you to collect large amounts of fresh meat that you can salt or smoke for later with the appropriate skill, as well as specific rare animal resources that can be later used during some crafting processes. For example, you'll be able to build stronger shelters with animal skins. Preparation is half of the battle. The outcome will depend on your base stats, but also if you hide your scent, the moment of the day and the condition of the animal. Approaching uncautiously, missing your shot, or being revealed too soon can lead to you getting badly hurt if the animal is a predator or of a larger size. Some debuffs, including injuries, can necessitate days or weeks to heal properly and can impede your activities during that period. Can you earn perks as you level up? There is a skill tree system in the game. For each day spent surviving, your character will earn a skill point that can then be invested in one of 3 specialisation branches. Quirks, which is active skills, Tinker, which is crafting, and Resistances, which is passive perks. Each skill can be trained by practicing it, but at a cost of time and energy. A skill takes time to be mastered, and you're usually not very efficient at any of them in the first levels. Because all situations and gaming styles are different, the skill tree system allows for hundreds of possible combinations. Make sure, for example, if you become better at fishing, that you plan to explore more coasts as opposed to going inland in the next days or weeks, or learn the appropriate skill to dry fish as well and take some with you. The game looks like a pixel art 2D platformer. Is there any other camera angles within the game? Depending on what happens, action can focus on the short or long range scene that can be seen representatively in the top left and right corners of most screenshots. During hunting / battle scenes, for example, the action will fully focus on the stealth and surprise attack process. You don't jump in the short range scene, but accomplish close-up actions like buildings or reinforcing your shelter, lighting your fire, collecting dry fish from a stand, or the contents of a trap. The game looks to draw influences from some classic RPGs and current survival games. Where did you get the inspiration from for the game? I fell in love with the adventure genre way before discovering video games, with authors like Jules Verne, Bajával and Daniel Defoe. Island is heavily inspired from Robinson Crusoe as well as Mysterious Island. I then got into gaming during the 8 and 16-bit era. My love is by far for the SNES. I could quote tons of games from this area for their tunes, adventures and atmosphere. We now want to offer avid RPG players an atmospheric experience inspired from these 2 eras, but also create an exciting challenge for them. You held a poll on Twitter asking which platforms you should release the game on. Because not everyone in the gaming world has seen this, would you really base your choice of platform based on a small poll? While insufficient to read a market, Twitter polls are a great way to start a conversation about a specific point. Since that poll, many gamers sent us requests about platforms that weren't quoted during the poll. We decided to include the 2 most popular requests as a stretch goal during our Kickstarter campaign, namely the PS4 and Xbox One. Is the game boundless, such as a day-to-day survival game that is open-ended, or is there an ending / completion to the game? The end game objective is to escape the island. Various escape solutions may be available or not, depending on your particular island generation. Here are some examples. You can find and repair the remains of a previous wreckage, build your own raft, or patch up a balloon. We won't quote more of these, as you are supposed to figure these out. Each escape solution will require a particular set of skills, rare resources, and usually quite an amount of time. Those problems will have to be dealt with, all while trying to survive. Having more fingers in pies can be beneficial, if you like pie. Will it be hard work to release the game on console rather than just PC? Nintendo has a very welcoming policy for indie developers, including a dev kit that facilitates conversion of your game to the Nintendo platforms, technical assistance for the developers, etc. If the goal is reached for the other consoles during the Kickstarter, we will add a developer to the project to facilitate the conversion process. Is there permadeath in the game if you die? Of course, it wouldn't be much of a survival game without permadeath. Island is meant to put you under the constant pressure of a lone castaway experience. Fear of imminent death, injuries and stress are part of the joy of the experience. That's also why we wanted islands to be generated for each game. Each situation will be different and you'll have to adapt your particular strategy to your environment and events taking place. Will your game Island be a single player experience? Loneliness and the character's mental condition are core elements of the solo campaign. Getting hurt or ill, or simply wandering around at night without a torch can damage the character's mental condition quickly. The solo mode is specifically meant as a lone castaway experience that can be lived as a roleplay if you choose to do so. Because we recently received a lot of requests for it, we are also currently under discussion for a multiplayer variant that can keep the game's particular core dynamic as well, but let's talk about that a little more in question 13. Does the game include any voice acting? We've made some trials with a voice actor and we tested for a deep, haunting narrator voice. When the game will reach its beta stage, it will be tested on a sample gamer population, and we'll use this opportunity to ask them if they like the voice actor feature. Are there any network features or multiplayer game modes? We received a lot of requests for a multiplayer mode. We selected two main ideas as starting points that we think could adapt to the game's tone to a dynamic and interesting multiplayer environment. As we did not plan for those initially, we proposed these as a stretch goal during the Kickstarter. One option would be a collaboration PvE mode, where a team of 2 to 8 castaways must each learn a specialised set of skills to allow group survival. One will get better at hunting, another at gathering and building shelters, another at fishing. Another option would be a savage PvP mode. In this mode, it will be possible to steal each other's resources at a camp, hide from each other using a stealth skill, and hunt other players. Killing other players will be possible but not advised, as some of the injuries caught in battle will necessitate weeks to recover and another player could take advantage of the situation. All of this will have to be dealt with while taking care of the survival processes described in the solo mode. Do you have a release date for the game at this stage? Release date should be announced around Q3 of 2019 depending on Kickstarter results. What will be its price point on release in euros and pounds? It should be within the 12 to 15 euros, which is around 10 to 12 pounds range for the digital version. It would be great to release a box edition for consoles, but we'll have to talk about that to the publishers first. Please feel free to add anything you feel that is important to your game. We care a lot about what gamers think about our game. It is for us crucial to tune the best possible experience. We listen to every opinion given to us. Right now, the best way to find us is on Twitter. Usually, when there is something wrong or missing, many gamers message us about it. Don't hesitate if something is on your mind, as this is your game too. Through polls, game festivals and private testing events, we will regularly allow our community to take part in the decision process. So that was my interview with Nikola, the main developer for Island. I'm finding this game very interesting. I'm looking forward to it. It's just done very well in its Kickstarter, and if you'd like to find more about this game or look into it, then I'll put the Twitter details for the developer in the description of the video so you can go and check them out. I'd like to say thank you to Nikola for his time that he spent replying to my questions, and just watch this space for more information and hopefully some gameplay elements coming soon for Island. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and thanks for watching.
Who's the daddy?